नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतः पदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome all of you all for a weekly Gita class. So today we are going to discuss from text number 12 of the second chapter. So if you'll remember, we discussed last week that from verse number 11 till 30 onwards is the second section of the second chapter, which speaks about identity, or Krishna is speaking about the topic of the soul, the Atma. So this is the only section in the Gita where the detail of the Atma is given. And if you actually analyze, this is the first set of instructions Krishna is giving to Arjuna. And the basic instruction that Krishna is telling Arjuna in the Gita is that we are not the body, we are spirit soul. So this is like the fundamental of spiritual life. If this fundamental is not clear, you can't build the building of spiritual life. Just like if the foundation is not put of a building, the building cannot stand. A cyclone comes, the building will fall off. Or if there is a root, or if there is a tree, if the root is not strong, a wind will come and the tree will fall off. So similarly, this knowledge that Krishna is giving here is the first knowledge Krishna is giving Arjuna, and it is the basics of spiritual life. And in fact, it is the basics of human life, to understand who we are. Imagine living life, but not understanding who we are. It's how can you live life like that? So when we speak about self-preservation, self-success, whatever we speak about, whenever the topic of self comes, we need to first understand who that self is. So therefore, Krishna in this section speaks very nicely about the topic of the soul. And Srila Prabhupada also gives very beautiful purports. So of this section, verse 12 is also an important verse. नत्वे एवाहं जातु नाशं नत्वं नेमे जनाधिपा न चैव न भविष्याम सर्वे वयम अत परम. Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. So what is Krishna telling here? Krishna is telling Arjuna, my dear Arjuna, there was never a time when you did not exist and I did not exist. And all the kings here, Janadipa, all the kings here, there was never a time when they did not exist. That means in the past, in the present, and in the future, everyone exists. That's why living entities are called Sanatan. Sanatan means eternal. So we always exist. And Krishna is also Sanatan. Krishna is also eternal. But what is the difference between the two? Prabhupada gives here in the purport. Katha Upanishad says, as well as in the Shvetashvara Upanishad, it is explained, Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam eko bahunam yo vidadati kamam. So it says, Nityo Nityanam. Krishna is also eternal, Nitya. We are also eternal, Nitya. Chetanas Chetananam. Krishna is also alive, Chetan. Chetan means conscious. And we are also alive, conscious. Hmm? So conscious means three things: thinking, feeling, willing. Like the laptop, right? The laptop or any material thing is achetan. That means it is dead. There is no life in it. There's no pran in it. But living entity and Krishna both are chetan. That means both are alive. That living force is there. Hmm? Nityo nityanam chetanas chetananam eko bahunam yog dadati kama. So one may say, Are Krishna is so eternal, I am also eternal. Krishna is also conscious, alive. I am also conscious, alive. So what is the difference between Krishna and me? Eko bahunam yuvidadati kama. That one Krishna, Eka, takes care of many bahu living entities. Eko bahunam yuvidadati kama. He fulfills all the desires of the various living entities. So Krishna is eternal, we are also eternal, but the difference is Krishna is that one supreme who takes care of all of us, like a father takes care of children. So we will go to the purport that Srila Prabhupada is mentioning here, but the essence of the verse is Krishna is trying to tell Arjuna, and through Arjuna to all of us, that living entity can never cease to exist. So Prabhupada very aptly mentions that many people have this misunderstanding or wrong understanding that liberation means living entity loses its identity. You merge into God and then you no longer exist. So Krishna is saying here that in the past also everyone existed, and in the future also everyone will exist. That means even if someone is liberated, the spirit soul's identity remains. The identity is not lost. Identity will always remain. Right now we have false ego, wrong identity, that we are the body, we are the enjoyers. But in a liberated state, we have true identity. So the definition of mukti is mukti hitva anyata rupam swarupena vyavasthiti. So the definition of mukti is, yeah, you all can keep yourselves muted, please. So the definition of mukti is one is situated in one's liberated position. And liberated position means true ego. And what is true ego? That I am a servant of Krishna. That is liberation. That is the state of liberation. So Prabhupada, we'll go to the purport, one sec. Yeah. So Prabhupada gives a brilliant purport. It is a little technical purport, but a very important purport. It's something that's very important. So Prabhupada actually explains, how this particular verse refutes the Mayavad theory. So what is the Mayavad theory? The Mayavad theory states that the individual soul, one second, yeah, the individual soul is separated or broken from the original consciousness by covering of Maya. So the Mayavadis, they believe that the living entity is actually Krishna, right? But it has forgotten that it is Krishna. So it has, because of being covered by Maya, and therefore it is come under illusion. But when that illusion goes away, they'll become one. Like the famous example that the Mayavadis give is of a pot. So they give this example that a pot is made of mud, right? So what is there inside the pot? Air. But when the pot breaks, what happens? Air inside, air outside mixes. So Mayavadis have this understanding that the spirit soul is there. So our body is like that pot. Spirit soul is there. When the pot breaks, this body breaks, our air, the pan which is there, the Atma, merges into the super consciousness and it dissolves. But this theory is not accepted in the Gita. That theory has no reference in the scripture. So the refutation is the soul is always unbreakable. The soul cannot be broken away. The soul is always eternal. So according to the Mayavadis, after liberation, the soul merges into impersonal Brahman and loses its identity. But here Krishna very clearly says that the soul always maintains its identity. The identity is never lost. It cannot be lost. And we will see in the Gita, I mean, in this same section, the verses ahead, Krishna says so many verses. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavaka, na chainam kledyanti apo, na shosheti maruta. Krishna says that soul cannot be cut into pieces, cannot be dried, it cannot lose its identity. And Krishna says the soul is insoluble, it never dissolves. Never dissolves means its identity is never lost. So the Mayavadis believe that only in the conditioned state we have individuality, but in the liberated state, individuality is lost. But Krishna is making the point very clear here that individuality of the Lord and the living entities are in the future also. They are in the future also. That means even after liberation, individuality remains. Just like someone may get diseased, someone may get COVID, and he may have to be admitted in the hospital, right? So even in the hospital, there may be many COVID patients, but his individuality remains, correct? And when he is discharged from the hospital and when he comes in a healthy state, still his individuality remains. Similarly, this material world is like a hospital. When we come here, individual souls remain an individual living entity. And when we get liberated, when we become free and healthy and go to the spiritual world, there also individuality remains. So the Mayavadi may argue, and Prabhupada explains in this purport here, that the individuality mentioned here refers to the body, not to the spirit. But we all know that Krishna is spirit only. There is nothing material in Krishna, correct? Krishna is not an ordinary living entity, right? So Krishna is spiritual. So therefore, Krishna is talking about spiritual individuality, not about bodily individuality. Because if Krishna was referring to bodily individuality, that means Krishna is also a material person. And if Krishna is an ordinary person, what is the use of reading Gita? Isn't it? We were discussing this point last week also. If this basic thing is not understood, if we don't have faith that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, if we think that Krishna is some powerful living entity, what is the value of spending time and reading Gita? We are reading Gita because Krishna is the Supreme Lord and he is fully spiritual. Ishvara, the verse from the Brahma Samhita. Oh, I forgot that verse. Ishvara Parama Krishna.
Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha.
Yes, Anadir Adir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. Sometimes, Krishna makes us forget even simple things. We forget. You quoted this verse so many times, but then that switch of remembrance and forgetfulness is with Krishna.
So Prabhuji, you must take a class on Brahma Samhita, Prabhuji, for all of us.
Yeah. You have been telling that for quite some time. We'll do it. Yeah. So Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha. So Brahmaji explains that Krishna has a form, but Krishna's form is not material. Krishna's form is Sachidananda, completely spiritual. Therefore, because Krishna's form is spiritual, and Krishna is telling here that, my dear Arjuna, myself, yourself, and all these kings have always been there and will always be there. That means Krishna is referring to the soul and not the body. Getting the point? That means even after liberation, the soul will remain individual. Its individuality is not lost. But someone may say that here Krishna is referring to the body, not to his body, but to the body of the kings and Arjuna. But in the previous verse, what is the previous verse? Krishna says, असोच्यान अन्वसोचस्त्वम प्रज्ञावादाम च भाससे गतासुन अगतासुंच नानुशोचन्ति pandita. Krishna is telling Arjuna, my dear Arjuna, people who are actually learned do not lament for the body. So in the previous verse, the bodily conception is condemned. Why will Krishna speak about the body again? So therefore, Krishna is not referring to the body. Krishna is referring to the soul. And Krishna is telling through Arjuna, all of us and all the spiritual organizations and everyone once for all, that even after liberation, the soul doesn't lose its individuality. The individuality always remains. Like another example the Mayavadis give, which is like very dear to them. They say that when rivers merge together in an ocean, the rivers lose its individuality. But our acharyas explain, the Vaishnava acharyas, yes, the water of the river may lose its individuality, but in that river, there are many aquatics, fish, turtles, many aquatics also enter into the ocean and they maintain their individuality. The individuality is not lost. So the examples that the Mayavadis give is not a perfect and a foolproof example. So therefore, we need to understand Gita. So that's why Srila Prabhupada is quoting the eternal individuality of the soul, referring to Katha Upanishad, Shvetashwara Upanishad, Nityo Nityanam, Chetanas Chetananam. And Prabhupada explains in the purport also that only a devotee can understand Bhagavad Gita and understand the conception of the soul. So therefore, Prabhupada explains that great teachers like Ramanuja and others have clearly maintained their grounds of the individuality of the soul. And therefore, only devotees can understand. But if someone is a non-devotee, a Mayavadi, even if he reads Gita, he cannot understand. So Prabhupada gives an example, just like there is a honey bottle, but if the honey bottle is locked, you can see the honey through the glass, but you can't lick the honey. So that honey bottle is opened only for devotees. Otherwise, the Mayavadis and the materialists, they can see the honey of Bhagavad Gita, but they will not be able to taste it. Why? Because Krishna reserves the nectar of Gita only for the devotees. If someone doesn't have faith in Krishna, if someone doesn't believe that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, right, and I'm a servant of Krishna, for such people, Gita wisdom is locked up. It is open, but still a secret. Therefore, we need to understand Gita through Krishna and the parampara that comes through Krishna. Through a proper Guru Shishya parampara only we can understand Gita. Otherwise, it is not possible. Sampradaya vihina ye mantraste nishpala mata. It is said that even if you get a mantra, but if the mantra is not coming through a proper sampradaya, that mantra will not have effect. Just like now there are so many people who are discussing COVID medicines, correct? But if that medicine is not made through a proper channel or it's not made in an authentic way, the medicine doesn't have any value. So similarly, if for a disease like COVID, we are very careful to see, is this medicine proper? Is this recognized medicine? Will it have side effects? We have like n number of questions. Again. So if to get cure of a disease, we have so many questions. When it comes to spiritual life and we are thinking about getting rid of ignorance only, material ignorance, and we feel that let me go to any place, let me knock on any door, I'll get the medicine. No, you have to be very careful, because if you go to a wrong person and you take that medicine, it may have dangerous side effects. Therefore, we need to hear Gita and spiritual wisdom from devotees, only from the mouth of devotees. So Prabhupada very often gives this example. It is there in the scriptures also, that milk is very poisonous. Milk is very nectarian. It's very nourishing for health. But if the milk is touched by the tongue of a serpent, that milk becomes poisonous. And if if a snake has touched its tongue on the milk will look exactly the same. It will not look different. It's not that the color of the milk is going to become blue or anything like that. It will look like milk only. It will look pure white, very nourishing milk, it will look like that. But if you drink it, you're going to be poisoned, right? So similarly, we should not go by looks. Are ISKCON is also speaking Bhagavad Gita. This person is also speaking Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is Bhagavad Gita. No, I will hear from anyone. It's all the same. No, milk is milk, but if the milk is touched by the mouth of a serpent, it becomes poisonous. So we don't take up spiritual life just by looks. We understand, we actually find out very scientifically whether it is actually going to be nourishing for me or detrimental for me. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya, who is the Supreme Lord himself, who came in Kali Yuga as a devotee and taught us the process of bhakti, he warned us. What is Lord Chaitanya warning? Lord Chaitanya has forbidden us to read commentations made by Mayavadis and warns us that one who takes to such an understanding of the Mayavadi philosophy loses all power to understand the real mystery of Bhagavad Gita. So this is a very, very important point. What is that? Lord Chaitanya is warning us. What is the warning? The warning is if we read Mayavadi interpretations of Bhagavad Gita, we will lose everything. We will not understand Gita and we will miss the essence. We will miss the bus. So therefore Lord Chaitanya says, Mayavada bhashya shunile hoilo sarvanash. If you hear the Mayavadi's philosophy, finished. Your spiritual life is over. Because what is the essence of Mayavad philosophy? They will tell you are God. Namo Narayanaya. They will tell you are God. After liberation, you will become God. So if you are God, why will you serve God? The tendency of bhakti and service is completely lost. So I think I told this last week also. आजकल social distancing चल रहा है ना COVID period में. So some devotee had made this WhatsApp image, So if you see a materialist person or non-devotee, you can follow social distancing. This is called spiritual social distancing. If you see a materialist person, stay 10 meters away from him. That means don't go close to him. He will influence you. Okay? The virus of sense gratification will enter into your system. So stay 10 meters away. But if you see Mayavadi, the social distancing norm, the spiritual social distancing norm is stay 100 meters away. Probably 10 kilometers away also, no problem. Because the virus that the Mayavadi gives you is much more dangerous than what a materialist can give you. The virus that a materialist can give you, the sense gratification virus, can be cured away. But the Mayavadi virus, why? Because when you associate with materialistic persons, you may get desire for sense gratification. But by the process of bhakti, you can get rid of that desires. You can get rid of the contamination. But if you associate with Mayavadi, he will destroy your faith only in bhakti. Then what is left for you? Nothing is left for you. So therefore, Mayavad bhashya shunile hoilo sarvanash. So therefore, Lord Chaitanya warns us, please stay away from wrong understanding, wrong philosophy. That's what Krishna is explaining in this verse and Prabhupada is explaining in the purport. We will read the next verse also. Okay, we discuss this. So we'll read text 13. Text 13 is a very, very important verse in the Gita. Probably many of you already know this verse. Dehinosmin yata dehe komaram yovanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhiras tatrana muyyati. So, I mean, this verse is one of the most basic verse, but probably the verse that every devotee learns very fast, but it takes a long time to realize it. But in situations like this, in this COVID period, these things come very prominently in picture. You can understand how temporary and changing life is. So this is this picture. You can see this picture here. In many ISKCON temples, they do this diorama. I remember years back in one of our Janmashtamis that we did, some of our boys, school, college going boys, they made this diorama. They put light in different body of a child, then they made a body of a boy, youth, adult, old age, then finally death, right? So that light that you see here is the Atma. So Krishna is explaining very brilliantly what is death. Like, and especially nowadays, I mean, this philosophy of Gita is so important because in with the rise of COVID cases, so many people are departing and so many near and dear ones are leaving. So how to remain equipoised in all this mess? When we see death all around, how do you remain sane and sober? Krishna is explaining here. Krishna is saying, Dehinosmin yata dehe komaram yovanam jara. As the soul passes in this body, in the same life, the soul passes from child to boyhood to youth to old age. Tata dehantara praptir. So similarly, after death, the soul gets another body. That means it's not that death happens at the end of life. Death is a continuous phenomena in this world. Death means change. If something has changed, means something has died. You have moved on. So where is that body when we were a small child? That body is gone. You may say the body has grown, but in one sense, that body is no longer there. You can't get it back. When you can't get it back, it's called dead. That phase is gone. And then we came to our boyhood. That phase is gone. That body is gone. We may be young now. Someone may be old. So the body is changing continuously. Srila Prabhupada, he tells from his own life. Prabhupada, when he started ISKCON and he got his disciples one time to Jagannath Puri. So Prabhupada told his disciples, he was walking on the beach of Jagannath Puri. Jagannath Puri is a very famous beach. So Prabhupada said, I came to Jagannath Puri when I was a small child. My father had got me. That time I was running around and playing everywhere. Then I came again as a young man, a married man. That time I had a different body. Now I've come here to the same Jagannath Puri beach, but I'm old now. I can't run around. So Prabhupada says, see, from my own life, the body is continuously changing. And we can all experience this in our own life, isn't it? If you just sit back and think about all your school days, childhood days, you will see that time has just flown so fast. Time has gone, right? And time is passing, it's moving ahead. So therefore, we need to prepare for our future. So Krishna is therefore saying here that when death occurs, you're not confused or bewildered because you understand that this is the nature of this world. This world is called Martya Loka. This world is called an abode of death. So death is like, it's not shocking, it's natural, it's bound to happen. The question is, it may be sooner or later, but it's inevitable. In English, if you have to say something, it's sure this thing is 100% going to happen. How do you say it? You say it as sure as death. That means other things may change or not, maybe yes or no probability, but death is 100% sure. So Krishna is saying here, a sober person should not be bewildered by such a change. So why is Krishna telling this to Arjuna? Krishna is telling this to Arjuna. See, the whole idea of the Gita, and especially the second chapter, is from different angles, Krishna is trying to convince Arjuna to fight. So this section 11 to 30 is this angle from the point of view of Jnana, knowledge of the soul. Krishna is giving Jnana, knowledge of the soul, and telling Arjuna, fight. So Krishna is telling in this verse, Are, you are attached to Bhishma, Drona, and all your relatives, but anyway they are going to die. Today or tomorrow they are going to die. You can't hold them. You can't keep that person permanently there. Therefore, continue on in your duty. Don't shy away from your duty. And all the more, Bhishma and Drona, whom you are really attached to so much, they are already old, isn't it? They have an old body. So even if they die now in the war, why are you crying? They will get another body, a young body in the material world, or they will go to the spiritual world. So either way, there is nothing to lament for. Don't shy away from your duty. So Bhishma and Drona, being noble souls, were surely going to have spiritual bodies in the next life, or at least heavenly planets, heavenly bodies. So either case, there is no cause of lamentation. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, Dhiras tatrana muyyati. Don't lament, don't be bewildered. Because whatever Krishna does, whatever the Lord's plan is for all of us, is definitely for a greater good. Yeah? With that faith in Krishna and on the topic of the soul, one should go ahead. So let's see what Prabhupada has to say in this words. So for explain point, this is also a very famous picture that's there in the Gita. Uh, in the pages of Gita where the paintings are. Right. So we keep passing on through different bodies, and in this life also we pass on to different bodies, and then we go on taking a next life. So Krishna is saying such a learned man is not bewildered by such a change. And there is this analogy of changing dress that Krishna gives it ahead in the one of the verses ahead. I think this is there's a verse that comes ahead. Vachamsi Jirnani, text 22. We will come to that verse when we go there. So Krishna is again that just like we gain dresses. If your dress gets old, you throw that dress and take a new dress. Did anyone cry saying that, "Arey, my dress is torn. What will I do now? What will I do now?" As soon as you get a new dress, you will forget about your old dress. Okay, this time also when I went to Vrindavan, and last time also when I went to Vrindavan, both the times I lost my slipper. Now, this time I don't know where I lost it. The previous time I went to Vrindavan, I was going in the rickshaw in the tempo to one of the temples, I think Radharaman temple, and a monkey came and stole the slipper. So for some time I was feeling bad, "Arey, my slipper is gone." But immediately it occurred to me, no problem, I'll buy a new slipper. Good chance for me, I'll buy a new slipper. So we may lament that, "Arey, my body is going to go, my body is going to go." But if you understand, don't worry, you will get a new body, you will be happy. So in this way, one should not lament for the passing of one's old body. So Prabhupada also explains, the Mayavad philosophy here. So let's just summarize what Prabhupada is explaining the purport. So Prabhupada first says that this verse proves that there is no cause of lamentation. Why? Because Bhishma and Drona will get fresh bodies. They are already old people, they'll get new bodies. And all the more, being noble, being spiritual, they will get elevation to higher planets or the spiritual world. Just as a word of caution, one should not think here at this point that Krishna is encouraging that go and kill. No, that's not the idea. Here is an exception because Arjuna is fighting a dharma yuddha and he is a Kshatriya. So therefore, Krishna is telling Arjuna this point and telling Arjuna that you have to fight, don't give up your duty. But one should not use the theory of the soul and tell people that, anyway, his soul is going to live eternally, let me kill his body. That's not the understanding. The understanding is, if it is your dharma, if it is coming from Krishna that you are supposed to do, then you can do. Otherwise, for all of us, we need to understand the philosophy of the soul here. That's all. So what is the definition of a dhira? Dhira is one who has perfect knowledge of the constitution of soul, super soul, and nature. So Prabhupada explains here. So dhira is one who knows what is Atma, what is Paramatma, and what is material world and the spiritual world. Therefore, such a person is undisturbed by changes of body. And in text 14, we will see Krishna says, Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya, Shitoshna Sukha Dukkada, Agama Paino Anityas Tam Titikshu Sabharata. So such a person is tolerant. He tolerates the dualities. And thus he becomes eligible for liberation, which we will see in text 15. So the soul, Prabhupada also establishes this point here, that the soul can never be equal to super soul. Soul and super soul can never be equal. We discussed this the last verse also and in this verse also. So Prabhupada had so much love for Krishna that he cannot handle the fact that someone says that I also can become Krishna. It's an offense, right? So Prabhupada can't handle it. Prabhupada was one time in Tokyo, and so there was in a very posh hotel, there was a program arranged where Prabhupada was called and one more Mayavadi sannyasi was called to give lecture parallel. Right. So Prabhupada spoke, and then this Mayavadi sannyasi started to speak, and he was speaking in Hindi. All Indians there, and Prabhupada was sitting and chanting. Prabhupada was chanting. And the disciples of Prabhupada were there, but most of them were foreigners. They didn't understand much of Hindi, but they were just sitting and waiting. Suddenly, Prabhupada, this person is still speaking lecture. His lecture is going on. Prabhupada suddenly starts shouting, "Stop that person!" And Prabhupada tells the devotee, "Start Kirtan." Imagine, this guy is giving lecture, and suddenly Prabhupada is telling him, "Stop!" And devotees start doing Kirtan. मतलब इसका पूरा program flop कर दिया. And Prabhupada came back, and the devotees asked Prabhupada, "What happened?" And Prabhupada said, "This person started to speak Mayavad philosophy. He started to say, we are all Krishna. We are going to become one with Krishna. I couldn't tolerate it, so I had to stop." So therefore, Prabhupada's pranam mantra is Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine. So Prabhupada, one of his mission was to get rid of this impersonalist philosophy. So Prabhupada again explains in this purport the refutation of Mayavad philosophy, that the theory of oneness cannot be entertained because the soul cannot be cut into pieces. Right? So someone may say the super soul was cut into pieces, but it's not possible, because how can the supreme be cut? It cannot be possible, right? Because the nature of the supreme soul is it is unchangeable, right? It is unchangeable, so the soul cannot change. That means we have been eternally existing. So the only difference is between Atma and Paramatma is Paramatma can never fall down. So therefore Krishna's one name is Achyuta. But living entities have a tendency to fall. Shara means we have a tendency to become entrapped by Maya. But what the Mayavadis say? The Mayavadis say that Supreme Brahman has become Maya. Under influence of Maya has become a living entity. And when that influence of Maya goes over, he will become Brahman again, the Supreme again. But we understand that there are two categories of uh, spirit soul. One is Paramatma and one is Atma. And the Atma and Paramatma can never become equal. And even after liberation, their individuality remains. Prabhupada also gives one example. This is called the theory of reflection. So Prabhupada says that just like, they may be in a water, there may be reflections of sun, moon, and all the stars. That means, why Prabhupada gives this example? Because the Mayavadis also give this example that there is a moon in the sky and the moon is reflected in different pots. So you can see the moon in different pots. But when the pots break, that only one moon remains. So they say that there is only one Brahman which has become many, and then it will become one again. But Prabhupada is giving a different understanding. In a pot, moon may be reflected, even the stars are reflected along with the moon, isn't it? That means the moon and the stars are always there, existing, coexisting. That means Krishna and the living entities are always there, and the individuality always remains. So that's what Prabhupada is explaining here. I understand that these few things about the Mayavadi theory might have been a little technical, but I felt it is important that everyone at least attempts to understand. So we'll stop here from text 14, which is also a very, very important verse. We will do the next time. Anyone has any questions, any comments? Any questions, any comments?
Question is out.
Hare Krishna,
Was
Prabhu.
Yeah.
Prabhu, in that 13th verse in purport, Krishna told Bhishma and Drona will get the spiritual or heavenly bodies. But Bhishma is a devotee of Krishna, na Prabhu.
Yeah, that's what. He'll get a spiritual body, you know.
Spirit. But even Arjuna also he knows na Prabhu. Bhishma also devotee of Krishna.
Yeah, definitely. See, the whole understanding is Arjuna is put into this. Arjuna knows everything, definite. Arjuna is an eternal Parshad of Krishna. But Arjuna is put in this bewilderment so that through him Gita can be understood by all of us. That's the whole point.
My question is, Prabhu, directly he told na Bhishma will
Huh.
get, even he is devotee, he is devotee of me, he will get a compulsory spiritual body only. Like that, he Krishna. No,
See,
here he is telling about spiritual or heavenly body.
Yeah. So, see,
Why
what the
directly
point?
told to Arjuna, Bhishma will get definitely spiritual body, he is devotee of me.
Yeah. So the point here is, see, when you're trying to convince someone, na, you speak from different angles. You understanding? You speak from different angles. So Krishna is trying to convince Arjuna. So here, it's not like, you know, we are not going by exact facts. What Krishna is trying to tell Arjuna is, देखो, अभी you have to convince a boy, study करो, है कि नहीं? So you will give him n number of reasons. या अभी किसी को बोलना है कि कोविड वैक्सीन ले लो या कुछ भी करो. You will tell him from different angles. देखो ये तरफ से भी ऐसा है. Trying to convince him. That's all. So we have to understand the mood of Krishna here. The mood of Krishna is not to be very technically correct. The mood of Krishna is to convince Arjuna to fight. So therefore, Krishna is telling Arjuna, see, you may believe that he is going to the spiritual world. Great, fine. Then there is no need for you to worry. You may think that even if he dies, he will go to heaven. Still, there is no need for you to worry. And if you feel that he is going to get another body in the material world, still there is no need for you to worry because he will at least get a new body. His old body will become new body. So therefore, fight. समझ में आ रहा है? So हमको हमेशा एग्जैक्ट जो वर्ड्स है उसके पीछे नहीं जाना है. You have to understand the spirit also. Message क्या है? So message is Krishna is trying to tell Arjuna to fight, and he's given different angles. इस तरफ से भी from this point also you should fight. From this point also you should fight. From every angle, the most sensible decision for you is to fight. So therefore, get up and fight. That's the point.
Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah. Anything else? Okay. Was it more technical था क्या? Was it too technical, or you all could understand the refutation of Mayavad? Probably you all can go through the purports again, very slowly and carefully. Then you all will understand Prabhupada's message more clear. Yeah.
You are telling about Mayavad is Om Namo Narayanaya. I am not understanding. So what is that Om Namo Narayanaya?
Not Om Namo Narayanaya. Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya is addressing Krishna.
That is Ashtakshari mantra given by Ramanujacharya.
That is different. Om Namo Narayanaya is different. Namo Narayanaya is different.
Well, can you
Namo
explain?
Narayanaya means, yeah. So when the Mayavadis meet each other, especially the Mayavadi sannyasis, like we say Hare Krishna, no? Or we say Namaste. The Mayavadi sannyasis greet each other, Namo Narayanaya. My respects to Narayan. So they consider themselves to be Narayan. Understanding the point? वो एक दूसरे को नारायण नारायण करके बुलाते हैं. So that is an offense.
It means everyone is Narayan.
हाँ. Everyone is Narayan. They feel that जब तक इल्यूजन में है नारायण करके समझ में नहीं आता. जब इल्यूजन चला जाता है तब समझ में आएगा कि हम भी नारायण ही है. आप भी नारायण ही हो. That is the understanding.
Even who are worshipping Narayana also, even Mayavadi is also there.
Yeah. Mayavadi's worship. Yeah. Yeah,
Who,
that's what.
who worship Vishnu also, there are some are in Mayavadi is also there, Prabhu.
Yeah. Mayavadis worship Vishnu also, no problem. But they worship Vishnu to become Vishnu.
Uh-huh.
Ah. They worship Vishnu to become Vishnu.
Dandam Grahita Matrena Narva Narayana Bhavati.
What
This
is
is what
that?
Mayavadi is.
What is the meaning of it?
Meaning, Prabhu.
Holding the danda, the sannyasis, Mayavadi
Ah.
sannyasis, they think that they become Narayan.
Exactly. So for them, sannyas means liberated, and liberated means Narayan. He's become Narayan. Yeah, correct. Okay.
Okay, bro.
So let's end for today. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.